Hey guys, tonight we settle deep into the folds of a simpler time. A time when castle walls loomed like protective giants, and the floors were just slightly colder than you'd like on a brisk morning. Picture this. You wake up in a grand but drafty medieval castle. The stone floors are as chilly as that one unfixed fridge you avoid opening at night. Around you, textiles heavily embroidered with strange tales draped from iron bars, keeping secrets while trying and failing to keep out the cold. You might feel like you won't survive without your morning scroll through TikTok, but here, the only thing to scroll is a dusty manuscript that's likely more than a little out of date. Before you get too comfy, feel free to tap like or subscribe, but only if you're genuinely enjoying the calm around here. Tell me where you're listening from and what time it is over there. I love seeing how far this sleepy little journey reaches. Now, go ahead and lower the lights. Maybe let a fan hum in the background, and let's drift gently into tonight's story together. So here you are, waking up in that castle. As the glimmers of dawn creep through unpaned windows, a hurried squire enters, practically tumbling over his leggings. He hands you a goblet of something hot, like coffee, but infinitely more medieval. A concoction of boiled herbs probably meant to wake you up, but really just makes you question life choices. The aroma hits your nose like a medieval spell, probably effective enough to keep the spirits, or at least negative vibes, at bay. You might think it's strange, but in this world, checking your email involves a runner delivering wax-sealed scrolls of pressing affairs, an entire day's worth of updates if you're lucky. Now, one thing that never changes, no matter the era, is a good morning routine. The royal wake-up call is a symphony of bustling servants and clinking armor. Imagine your phone alarms going off in different corners of a massive, echoing space. And let's be real, you'd probably snooze all of them, hoping they'd magically align into a playlist you could ignore. But here, there's no snoozing. Instead, you rise from a bed layered with blankets heavier than the digital clutter in your modern Dropbox, piled there to fend off the bite of the frigid castle air. And on to breakfast you go, an affair that surprisingly involves a lot less avocado toast and more of last night's feast, reinvigorated with spiced wine and cheese that's definitely aged beyond its years. You nibble thoughtfully, and, okay, here's a fun fact that might keep you chewing longer. In medieval times, the rule of thumb was to salt your food heavily, because it kept things preserved without the need for refrigerators or a mental debate over which expiration date truly matters. It might make you chuckle, thinking how some culinary habits haven't strayed far from circumstances, especially in shared dorm apartments. Now, about that one weird side note. In some kingdoms, beards were more than just a style choice. They were statements, practically daring anyone to find their lord's flowing manes anything less than majestic. There's a historical tidbit for you. King Henry I of England once issued a decree to stimulate humility by having men trim their hair, imagining monks on Instagram giving hot takes about true penitence. Historians still argue whether the true intention was a moral standard or just Henry's personal aversion to lavish hairstyles that made walking through narrow doorways a logistical nightmare. And that brings us to ponder. Were these earnest calls for humility or subtle nudges towards palace-wide conformity? You might even imagine them as medieval TikTok challenges aimed at disciples of the king. So here you are, already wrapped up in the cobblestones of this strange, delightful past. isn't it comforting to think some things, like avoiding early morning chit-chat or preferring to linger far from stressful realities, are as timeless as the stars stretching across a dawn sky, soon to fade behind the rolling mist of medieval life stirring awake beyond castle walls. Stay tuned, because the day is just beginning, and as you wander across grand halls, there are more quirky tales waiting in the shadows. You finish your medieval breakfast, pondering whether the spiced cheese more closely resembled a flavor profile or a medieval endurance test. As you step into the grand hall, the floor is alive with bustling courtiers and servants. Picture an amalgam of cat memes and motivational quotes, yet somehow personified as people in embroidered doublets and flowing gowns, zipping back and forth with armfuls of rolled-up tapestries. You're swept into the daily whirl of courtly life, which kicks off with the kind of fashion parade that makes modern runway shows feel like a casual stroll through a thrift store. Gold threads catch the sunlight streaming through high-arched windows, dancing like fairy lights strung in a dorm room right before a roomy podcast recording session. The clothes, though ostentatious, barely fit without modern tailoring or the occasional hasty repair. And honestly, some dresses drape with the elegance of that one oversized sweater you can't bear to part with, even as it unravels thread by thread. It's not all pomp and circumstance. There's an intriguing first event on the royal docket, a morning hunt. To a medieval soul, it doesn't count as a sporting day without tromping through dew-tipped meadows, the kind of outing that's like your 5 a.m. jog fantasy, planned enthusiastically the night before, only to reconsider when those blankets hug you just right again. And here's a curiosity for you. Did you know medieval hunting parties were essentially the royal version of exclusive social clubs? Invitations were coveted, noted in scripts almost as indecipherable as your own digital font choices from insomnia-driven late-night projects. These forest forays kept aristocrats fit and gave everyone plenty of time to gossip between galloping through the autumn canopy, like scenic picnics of networking intrigue. These hunts were meticulously organized affairs, a seamless mix of sport and strategy, with echoes of today's extreme escape room experiences, though far less room and much more escaping of the bunny variety. You can practically hear the clash of antlers in the crisp air, as if the forest itself were a live performance, raising whispers that shift like tree shadows on stone paths, leaving footprints for fabled hunters known for dispatching beasts or merely cursing them as they flee. Here's a delightfully odd tidbit. King Henry VIII, famous for his Spanish Armada shenanigans, took to hunting with such fervor that he sometimes practiced indoors. That's right. Reports suggest that skilled archers would shoot at moving targets in long corridors, turning castles into oversized archery venues. Imagine if your local community center allowed indoor archery as their Wednesday afternoon program. Legends say that it was both exhilarating and quite nerve-wracking for both participants and the priceless objet d'art. But here lies a debate. As historians grapple over the exact identity of Henry's favored hound, was it true love or merely royal endorsement? Did his own enthusiasm for hunting extend to the terrorized wildlife around Hampton Court? Yeah, it's one of those mysteries almost made for an early morning docu-series binge, with musical flourishes and shadowed reenactments. You know, the kind where you text a friend, "Can you believe this?" without context, and you trust they'd get it. So while the day of pageantry unfolds into medieval court duties, without any semblance of a planning app, These rituals maintain a lively predictability. And don't worry, even when caught in fleeting idle moments, these courtiers find their own diversions. Between horse-trotting excursions and strategic table tennis, sans paddles with goblets as rackets, these royals kept boredom at bay in spectacular form. What they'd sacrifice for a streaming service, right? As the morning fades into a promising noon, adorned with silver platters that gleam brighter than any gala invite you might snag on social feeds today, you wonder how this world of peculiar rituals remains so endlessly enticing. Soon enough, the clang of silverware will echo through opal halls as the feasting bell tolls. So you ready yourself, letting the promise of royal marvels lure you deeper into the dreamscape of not-so-boring history. As you saunter towards the grand dining hall, anticipation fills the air, much like the aroma of a pot roast crisping in the oven after a long day spent scrolling through recipes never meant to be cooked. The hall itself is a masterpiece. Vaulted ceilings stretch high above, darkened by centuries of stories and smoke, as intricately carved beams weave a lattice of woodwork as detailed as an aspiring artist's sketchpad in moments of midnight inspiration. Feasts here are theatrical. Imagine Thanksgiving, but several days long, with table settings broader than your streaming backlog, glistening beneath chandeliers made of dripping wax, still burning, still clinging. You take a seat among lords and ladies dressed in fabrics that flow, shimmy, occasionally trip, and definitely leave trails of embellishment across the stone floor through their exuberance. Serving a chili pepper in your pumpkin spice latte? Subdued by comparison. And let me spill some royal tea. Medieval meals were multi-stage epics. You'd start with the first course. Bread that deserves its own myths for how hard it might try to fling itself from table to mouth. Speaking of breads, you'd use them not only as the forkless cutlery these medieval folks adored, but as mysterious complaints registered against the graininess of the era's current arts. Then comes a parade of meats, each as elaborate as an influencer unboxing video, glistening and dressed up like fall foliage, waiting to be adored. Did you know that back then, dinners could last for hours, serving up upwards of 36 dishes? Imagine what historians think. Did royals view it as festive necessity, or just an excuse to swap more than just legal documents over a lengthy repast? Picture your favorite cook-off show, airing endless rounds. It's a guessing game that keeps scholars on the edges of their seats, reminiscent of dining suspense itself. Here's a quirky slice of life. Some dishes served were more akin to artworks, never meant for consumption, but simply to impress. A pie could be fielding live doves that, upon cutting, might fly forth, startling everyone and adding to the legend of medieval extravagance. The grandiose experience calls to mind epic homecomings of sports games, or the charisma of a meticulously rehearsed magic show that never ceases to blow minds. Historians still argue whether these elaborate displays were genuine culinary endeavors, or if their purposes skewed towards theatricality, a testament to human ingenuity when times were tasked with impressing guests. An ongoing battle paralleling today's must-have Instagram aesthetics. The debate lingers as though diners themselves pass speculation along future generations, like anecdotes chatting over long, longing gazes across crowded tables. As course blurs into course, jabs of laughter blend seamlessly with the melodies of troubadours, draping shimmering notes over regal walls. The presence of music punctuates the atmosphere with a joy similar to finding forgotten coins in the couch, or building a playlist that evokes carefree nostalgia. The historical backdrop of timber walls echoes back cheerful soundscapes that cascade between camaraderie and illuminated corners. The heart of feasting lies not just in sustenance, but in presentation, etiquette, and the joy of sharing gossip, a concept as timeless then as it is today. Watching each dish presented, like waiting for a delivery order while reorganizing kitchen shelves, the feasting unfolded in waves, reflecting the indulgence of nobility in their pursuit of flavors grander than even their titles. It's during these monumental meals, the shared laughter as legacies over furniture, tender steak and pheasant exquisitely drizzled in sauce, fowl with stuffing richer in both spice and legend, drift into the hum of satisfaction, conversations turning toward merriment. With ravenous anticipation still a flicker in the eyes of all, you realize this world shines welcomingly beneath medieval glow, where sips of authenticity dance upon palates and tales swirl collectively, leading wayfarers as they turn history into cherished bedtime stories, comfortably cocooned within the snug fortress of shared imagination. As the feasting winds down, a cozy haze settles over the hall, much like the contented sigh after finally closing all 27 tabs on your browser, feeling inexplicably productive. Stomachs full, the court turns their attention to the entertainment provided. Jests and jigs, the medieval equivalent of a stand-up special mixed with a TikTok dance craze, minstrels and jesters leap and cavort across the stone floor, their antics lighting up faces like fairy lights strung haphazardly across dusty shelves. A troubadour takes center stage, strumming a lute with fingers deft and nimble as a nerd speed typing through a last-minute essay. By the twinkle in his eye, you can tell he's got a knack for storytelling. His ballads spin tales of love and valor, stirring the crowd to nostalgic camaraderie. Is it the lull of music, the soft hum like a laptop fan, the way notes thread through the air, weaving sleepy magic? You lean against a wooden post, letting the melodies envelop you like a warm blanket right out of the dryer, soft and all-encompassing. Here, in the middle of this hypnotic symphony, you're reminded that perhaps the line between history and legend blurs, the same way you blur reality and dreams in the midst of a drowsy afternoon. It's a time when even the architecture feels alive. Beams stretching skyward, castle stones humming gently underneath, echoing tales more steadfast than any wiki rabbit hole dive on insomniac nights. And within this melodious flow, there lies that quirk we teased earlier. Did you know that some kings, those busy with all-knowing kingly things, had elaborate court jesters to not only entertain but advise them? Imagine if today's financial advisors donned colorful motley and wove riddles into quarterly forecasts. Your squabble with setting away status on every app feels mild in comparison. Court jesters, masters of sarcasm and innuendo, were given liberties to speak truths others could not. Historians still argue whether these jesters influenced policy under the guise of court fools or wielded more accidental governance, little more than heavenly folly indulged by time. The very nature of their influence remains a mystery, much like your own ability to recall what genius initialed cave paintings thousands of years ago, as if art history suddenly became a communal friends trivia quiz. As the evening shifts into twilight, the great doors creak open, revealing a moonlit courtyard just beyond, bathed in the silvery glow that transforms shadow into mystery. You step into the cool night, greeted by the gentle rustle of leaves and the occasional flutter of night creatures on their own quests through the dark. The air is crisp, with the scent of autumn decay, a scent that whispers of both endings and beginnings, like soft candles flickering bravely against encroaching night. In the courtyard, whispered stories of palace follies carry on the breeze, rivalries that rival your favorite on-screen drama, secret romances that fuel endless gossip threads, Tudor tabloids having nothing on medieval muckraking. Furtive exchanges and meaningful eye contact add depth to the cloak and dagger flutters between cloaked figures, all amid the serene backdrop. And so, winding down in the echo of a day woven by tapestry fabric threads, you find yourself amidst timeless corridors of laughter and life, where history becomes the backdrop for extravagance and mundane, where every element, from hunting parties to jesters' quips, finds its place in the spinning epic of time. A story told on the verge of a yawn beneath covers, secure in the woven tapestries of your shared imagination. A timeless realm where perhaps the quirkiest tales still hold sway as a soothing lullaby over even the grandest halls. As the cool night air wraps around you like a velvet cloak, you linger in the courtyard where shadows play hide and seek with moonbeams amongst the stone statues, frozen guardians of the past. The castle's silhouette cuts a majestic shape against the star-speckled sky, resembling a slumbering dragon, ancient and wise. It's one of those nights when everything feels infinite and small at the same time, leaving you tingling with a profound connection to centuries gone by. The night's magic settles like dew, and you wander further into the garden paths, finding a bench that's somehow as inviting as your favorite nook back home. You can't shake the feeling that if you listen closely enough, you might hear snippets of old conversations carried on the wind, courtly intrigues, impassioned declarations, debates as lively as any comment thread after your latest controversial post. Here's something deliciously intriguing. Back in medieval times, many castles had highly secretive passages known only to a trusted few. These strategic shortcuts were used by royals to move about unseen, almost like the medieval version of slipping out of an unwanted family Zoom call, escape routes pure and simple. These passages are subject to debate even today. Historians still argue whether they were primarily designed for escape or just a means of indulging illicit rendezvous, a conundrum as speculative as wondering if your latest app update enhances functionality or just rearranges the UI to keep you guessing. On such a night, with the scent of lavender thick in the air and the gentle rustle of unseen creatures padding through the gardens, it's easy to let your mind fall even further into the past. Imagine torches casting flickering shadows, transforming the garden into an enchanted realm separate from time. The atmosphere swirls with potential, just like the promise at the edge of sleep, where dreams await to tug at the hems of your consciousness. A slight breeze picks up, carrying with it the soft murmur of the castle settling into night. Chimneys exhale wisps of smoke into the sky like fleeting dreams, vanishing as quickly as they are formed. You can practically hear the distant laughter of the court, quieter now, settling like dust onto the stone floors within. Nighttime in the castle was its own world, where everyone found ways to linger on the edges of sleep, extending the night in conversations as endless as the sky above. And here's a quirky little fact for you. Some nobles truly believed the night brought enchantment and avoided sleeping too soon, fascinated with the realm of dreams that unfolded in the still hours. Dreams consulted like fortune tellers without the questionable interpretations. It's a concept as whimsical as keeping a journal of random thoughts and epiphanies scrawled in the margins during meetings. You find yourself wondering what stories the stones would tell. The grand, sprawling legends and whispered secrets etched into walls like delicate engravings, hidden except to those who pause to hear. It's a comforting thought that echoes modern times, when sharing a meme feels like passing on a precious bit of cultural lore. As the night deepens, the garden transforms into a realm of shadows and quietude, a place where silent reflection reigns. Here, amongst walls, aged by history and hands that carefully laid them stone by stone, you begin to understand how these ancient pathways have endured. Their stories, woven into the very fabric of time, narrating tales more endearing in their quiet persistence than any grand declaration could hope to be. Tonight, as the hum of the nightscape crescendos in a gentle lullaby, you feel the past wrapping around you like the coziest blanket, a reassurance that history, no matter how distant or strange, unfurls like a shared story we all join. It's the kind of comfort reminiscent of settling in for that long-awaited adventure, turning the final page only to find it was always about the journey, the connection between hearts across time. And here, in this haven of whispered dreams and vibrant echoes, you find the softest transition into the sleepiest of dreams, cocooned within the beauty of stories old as time, promising both solace and wonder as they guide you into slumber. As the soft glow of dawn begins to creep over the horizon, you find yourself waking slightly more at ease, nestled in a corner of the castle gardens. The air is crisp, but no longer biting, a gentle reminder that another day is beginning in the world you've been visiting in your historical dreamscape. Drowsy and warm under the embrace of medieval night air, you reflect on the bizarre charm of royal life and how utterly different yet charming it is from today. Around you, the castle begins its subtle morning stirrings, wagging its ancient tail at the break of new light. You imagine a medieval version of your morning routine, unnecessary alarms and all, playing out amongst towering walls. As you rise and stretch, the gardens are slowly becoming alive, characters in their own right, casting crisp, elongated shadows that seem to chase away the night. The earthy aroma of awakening herbs mixes with the hints of dew on stone pathways, spilling a concoction of scents reminiscent of wandering through a farmer's market that offers a slight sense of adventure. Finding yourself once more in the Great Hall, you're grateful for the change of scenery, but more grateful still for the flickers of light that ignite fireplaces. The fires crackle to life like scripted comedies that bring warmth and humor when all else seems as cold as an uncharged phone on a busy morning. The vast space echoes with the memories of opulent banquets and spirited laughter that left imprints upon wooden beams. Here, even the walls testify to long-forgotten conversations. The grandeur of morning rituals unfolds in layers of mismatched elegance, like eclectic playlists that somehow manage to fit any mood. And right here, as the melodies of gently shuffling feet and impatient sighs fill the air, a quirky tidbit surfaces. Let's ponder the medieval fascination with astrology. Kings often looked to the stars for guidance, relying on celestial interpretations, like you might rely on the day's horoscope to rationalize hitting the snooze button for the 5th time. Historians still argue whether these astrological devotions held political implications, or if they were just the oft-glimpsed embroidery of tradition woven into the cloak of governance. In the courtyards and corridors, the routines of the royal household resume, filled with the exchange of gossip and musings that have evolved since dawn. The rhythm of life, much like the charm of a well-brewed medieval tea, infuses activities with a flavor and energy reminiscent of your favorite cozy mug without the caffeine-induced wakefulness. Amongst those wearing blurry-eyed expressions and mismatched shoes, like a medieval take on Casual Friday, what stands out is a palpable sense of anticipation. The day is full of promises as fresh as the air, echoing the duality of comfort and surprise. Each hour unwinds like a coil, unfurling stories long woven into the tapestry of life itself. Entertainments of the day range from jousts to strategic board games, both of which satisfy a grand appetite for amusement. Satisfying in a way that feels a lot like a snack run, culminating in an impromptu picnic by the soft glow of a fairy light string. Throughout all these antics, the castle echoes with laughter and spirited calls, a timeless testimony to the human condition that dances moonlit trails across history's expansive canopy. Soon, the gentle warmth of noon promises to dispel any lingering chill both outside and within, and you can't help but let your mind wander to the thought that while royalty remains elusive in modern life, the oddity of the past enthralls even now. With every tale, every tradition, we're lulled into a tapestry that connects us backward through time, transforming historical eccentricities into perennial bedtime stories. Gradually, the castle finds comfort in the routine, a rhythm that lulls the sensibilities, as rich as any tale of antiquity. And as you step once more beyond stone walls, onto pathways that led both away and further in, you sense the echoes of the past washing over you, leaving you with a lingering smile. Hearts bound by laughter and stories echo still, bridging the gaps between then and now, gently offering you the softest of transitions from wakeful whimsy to dreamy repose. In this twilight area between history and dreams, you find yourself wrapped securely in a world familiar, yet always unfolding. A domain where the simplest story becomes an enchanted scope to temples unknown, only to guide you safely home into the embrace of sleep's whispering meadows. As the day progresses into afternoon, you meander through the castle's hallways, each step resonating with echoes from a long-gone era. The sun spills through castellated windows, painting the stone floors with geometric patterns that shift like lazy clouds over a summer meadow. It feels like the world is inviting you to pause, to soak in the quiet splendor of a time when life coursed a little slower, a little more deliberately. You pass by servants bustling about, their chatter floating in the air like dandelion seeds caught in an unexpected breeze. The castle hums with activity, an artisanal blend of thunderous industry and pockets of serene stillness. Not unlike the ebb and flow of traffic you might dodge on a daily basis. Except here, there's no honking, just the gentle clip-clop of horseshoe negotiations in distant courtyards. Along one corridor, a tapestry catches your eye, a vivid portrayal of a royal banquet, complete with embroidered delicacies and smiling figures. It's as if the woven threads are alive, whispering stories into the stone. You pause and recall a curious historical tidbit. These tapestries weren't just decoration. They were medieval flexes, born of intent to express wealth and power. Imagine rolling out a fine Persian carpet every time someone visited, just casually announcing, "Oh, this old thing, it's nothing." Historians debate the narratives they tell, at once political, personal, and sometimes downright fantastical, crafted not only to adorn, but to inform. You wander deeper into the castle, the air cool in the way that ancient stones tend to mystically maintain, as if their very density contains its own climate system. You find yourself thinking back to the uniqueness of royal life, the odd comfort that's wrapped up in rituals that range from fantastical to outright bizarre by today's standards. And it strikes you that even today, we're locked in our own peculiar rituals, whether it's setting 5 alarms knowing full well you'll ignore them all, or keeping a vigil over your coffee brew as though examining a mystical elixir, worlds away, yet comfortingly near. Eventually, you spill out onto a terrace overlooking the courtyard, where practicing knights clash in spectacle, perhaps more for each other's entertainment than for any gallant purpose. Their armor flashes in the reducing daylight, a dance of metal and willpower, echoing the clang of swords and setting off a rhythm that feels as ancient as storytelling itself. You can't help but think of them as enthusiasts participating in something grander, humans dedicated to mastering their fate, or engaging in an intricate game of really advanced playfight. Still, an ongoing debate among scholars who must decide whether acts were more for pomp than practical preparation. Nearby, a group of courtiers enjoy an afternoon game reminiscent of chess, albeit with medieval embellishments, a royal pastime for all and sundry. Amidst the strategizing, casual laughter wafts like the scent of freshly baked bread from an unseen kitchen, mingling with the clinking of gaming pieces like good friends, having a spirited discussion over a forgotten board game they've just rediscovered in the attic. You find yourself marveling at their focus and commitment to the simple pleasures, reminiscing internally about moments when you'd lose track of time in the warmth of candlelit gatherings and shared camaraderie. As the sun begins to dip lower in the sky, painting the castle in hues of gold and amber, you are reminded of tales of tournaments past, grand feasts to award the day's victors, celebrations whose echoes you swear linger in the twilight air. It's an image like a flickering candle, both illuminating and enigmatic, illuminating the lessons of the past like warm memories discovered anew. Ambling back into the deep corridors of the castle, you feel it's a place where time behaves differently, a festival of era and moment. There's something in the way history unwinds its charm here, offering secrets to those willing to pause and listen. A notion that could tranquil any lifetime, teasing what's possible within those silent stone spaces. So you linger a while longer, feeling the pull of every story untold within these ancient walls. As the light slips away and shadows close in, night's gentle rain approaching, you float along, a guest to both time and tale, gazing upwards, entrusted to the stars above and the stories we weave by their glow. Slowly, you return to the heart of the castle, preparing for the next chapter in this timeless narrative as the day slips away, casting them in the pleasant aftermath of memory's embrace, bidding you a gentle sleep. As the sun completes its graceful descent, darkness cloaks the castle with an intimate hush. You find yourself naturally gravitating toward the great hall once more, where soft candlelight flutters against the time-worn stone. The flames flicker like tiny dancers, casting dreamy shadows that spin lazily across the intricate tapestries. There's a peace here that's tangible, a quietude that invites introspection, as if history itself pauses to breathe alongside you. The evening meal is a more subdued affair, though no less elaborate in its presentation. Rich stews and fragrant breads make their way to the table, the kind of rustic, hearty fare that's soothing in its simplicity. It reminds you of indulging in comfort food on a chilly night, without the guilty connotation, just pure, unadulterated warmth. Each dish is crafted to ward off the evening's chill and the subtle murmurings of fatigue that begin to creep in. It's a culinary hug from a bygone era. The conversations around you are soft, a gentle hum that flows like a river of shared experiences. You take note of how seamlessly topics shift from the day's events to whispered dreams of tomorrow. Stories interrupted with knowing smiles and laughter that dances upward, slipping through rafters to join the whispers of long-departed merrymakers. You can't help but smile at the realization that some aspects of human connection transcend both time and space, like catching a glimpse of universality bathed in torchlight. And amidst the familiar scenes of plates being passed and melodies hummed, a peculiar anecdote drifts into your consciousness, a quirky reminder that in medieval times, napkin etiquette was completely different. Instead of the tidy cloth squares we know today, people often used tablecloths or even sleeves for wiping hands. A mess we can laugh about now. Thinking of unplanned family dinners, where even the dog is wearing more food than was eaten. Historians still debate the extent of formality in dining habits, pondering whether it was governed by practical needs or subtle, unspoken idolization of courtly manners. As the night deepens and the lanterns sway in rhythm with the courtyard breeze, an idea strikes. This is a world where being offline is not an option. Faces are fully present. Reactions are real in time. No LOL with straight faces here. Every gesture, every sigh is saturated with a mindfulness that resonates, offering a stark contrast to our multitasking, notification-driven realities. With the dinner plates cleared and the fire's embers glowing wan and warm, you feel the pull to wander again. The castle beckons in its silent majesty, whispering secrets through every corridor you traverse. You wander beneath arching walls, your steps echoing like a soft drumbeat in the quiet that envelops the stones, drawing you deeper into the comforting embrace of history, timeless, yet unchanged by wear. It's an ambiance that wraps around you like your favorite well-worn hoodie, imbued with stories that shelter you against the chill of unknown tomorrows. A serene comfort descends upon the night like a velvety curtain, tucking the world into a more forgiving shape. Midnight creeps in, soft and forgiving, as a tapestry of stars unfurls across the sky. The moonlit shadows and gentle breeze nudge you gently towards introspection, a subtle encouragement to seek out the stories within. You sense that castles, like dreams and hearts, are limitless in the secrets they keep. Lulled by the satisfying cadence of the day's events and the gentle rhythm of your thoughts, you find a quiet corner in the castle, a place where time almost ceases to exist. The walls around you breathe millennial-old wisdom, inviting you into the softness of sleep. The silence here is more than absence. It cradles you as you drift towards slumber, whispering tales of kings and jesters with softness that soothes like only the hum of a well-loved lullaby can. In these final moments, as the night slips further into deep, peaceful slumber, you feel the weight of the past and present blend into a single, harmonious lull. It's almost like the castle holds you in a gentle embrace, promising respite from the worries of the modern world, assuring you that in this space, stories intertwine in life's grand tapestry, welcoming you to rest in the gentle folds of time's embrace. As your eyes grow heavy, you let yourself drift towards sleep, wrapped in the warmth and wonder of this enchanted world that has become, for this brief moment in time, your own. Time unfolds gently as you continue your journey through the heart of this medieval realm, where each shadowed corridor hides another whisper, another untold story, just waiting to escort you gracefully back to sleep. As you stroll through these long forgotten halls, the subtle echoes of history harmonize with the soft rustling of fabric and the steady clip-clop of horses in distant courtyards. These quiet nocturnal sounds blend together, lulling you as they weave a tapestry of memory and reverie. You find yourself near a small chapel within the castle, its air thick with the scent of incense and the flickering glow of candles casting a honeyed light. The tranquility here is almost palpable, much like the gentle, weighted comfort of an unhurried evening spent among old books and familiar faces. This serene setting invites you to pause and breathe deeply, to savor the scent of archaic wisdom that permeates the stone walls and whispers stories of quiet resilience. There's a legend associated with this chapel, a tale of an old king who once sought the wisdom of monks here, hoping to navigate the complex labyrinth of political alliances. He would sit for hours, contemplating under the vaulted archways, a practice not unlike our own late-night Google searches for meaning, only 1,000 years removed and infinitely more soulful. Historians still argue about the true influence the church held over the monarchy back then. Was it unwavering? Or were these pious visits more ceremonial gestures designed to maintain appearances? From this peaceful sanctuary, you're drawn onward, through the castle's inner sanctum, where the clink of armor and quiet murmur of guards shifts into the background chorus, humming alongside dusk's embrace. Medieval life, it seems, was an interplay of duty and leisure, even in the quietest hours of the castle's blessed silence. Did you know that despite their grandeur, castles like this one were often drafty and cold? Those thick stone walls we so romantically idealize offered little protection from the elements. This is why royalty often preferred to wear layers upon layers of clothing, sumptuous velvets and brocades, all made to keep the body warm in places as chilly as the hearts of rival kings. Can't help but think of it as the original, stylish compromise for warmth. Like when you drag a hodgepodge of quilts across the floor, just to curl up as cozy as possible in front of the latest binge-watch-worthy series. As your footsteps carry you deeper into the castle, you find another unexpected delight. A hidden library, where lamp-lit stacks of dusty leather volumes, tall as your tallest pile of to-be-read novels, reach eagerly for the ceiling. You run fingers along the spines, gathering their warmth like precious sunlight, captured and stored within each story. Imagine each book a snippet of wisdom, its pages alive with the voices of scholars, troubadours, and thinkers who dreamed beyond the horizon of their own time. Authorly whispers that span the time and bind curiosity to imagination. It's late, and fatigue begins to settle in. A gentle reminder of the boundary between wakeful wonder and the soft allure of sleep's embrace. Gazing through wide lancet windows, you see the silent orchestra that is the nightscape. Moonbeams line the edges of rooftops, accentuating anything left in shadow. The stars above twinkle faintly, guiding your thoughts gently inward towards repose. As the journey draws to a close, you find that familiar coziness seeping in like a well-loved song, lulling you into dreams woven from the loom of the past and present, effortlessly intertwined. Closing your eyes, the sounds of the castle mellow into a harmonious lull, a sweet serenade of medieval mischief and modern appreciation. inviting you to fade into peaceful slumber. With each breath, the world fades away, softened by the passage of history and time, leading your thoughts back to the here and now. Shelter in this little corner of time, wrapped snug in the assurances of stories told and paths walked. Allow dreams to carry you deeper into their embrace, inviting the gentle drift into the world beyond sleep, where ancient echoes serve as endless lullabies, securing your rest beneath a sky watchful and wise. With the castle settling into the hush of night, a serene stillness wraps around you like the softest quilt, coaxing you into a cocoon of warmth and anticipation. Each corridor and chamber you traverse has enriched this timeless journey with whispers from antiquity, reminding you that the edges of reality and dream blur so beautifully this side of midnight. Now, in these lingering moments of conscious tranquility, you find your thoughts dancing gently on the precipice of wakefulness and dream. Just outside, the night air carries the cool breath of earth and distant waters, mingling as it slips through narrow, ivy-clad embrasures like nature's own lullaby. The sounds of the castle at rest form a comforting symphony. The gentle clatter as guards shift, an owl's far-off call reverberating human-like from the tallest tower, layered with the gentle sighs exhaled by the ancient stone itself. Each sound becomes part of the tapestry that wraps around you, cradling the castle in its cosmic stillness. Somewhere in that expanse of star-strewn sky lies your next adventure, tucked into a tale yet untold. The stars twinkle knowingly, sparkling with the light of suns long extinguished, yet their stories continue to find you, offering solace in their enduring constancy. The moon, ever vigilant, casts a benevolent glow through the castle's wide eye-like windows. This light transforms the modest space into a parallel realm where past, present, and future coalesce, creating a pervasive sense of peace that soothes your spirit and invites sleep. Against the room's dusky shadows, candle flames flicker with a dance so gentle, like whispered secrets shared between close friends. And in that glow, you find tranquility blooming effortlessly. It's the quiet magic trapped within the breathless pause between the days, where dreams tiptoe across the threshold, tender and unhurried. And you are invited to rest and drift deeper into the embraces of the night, where dreams unfurl their vibrant wings and carry you along currents of imagination. Let these last waking moments become the gentle descent into a place solely yours, a landscape where medieval castles and modern musings intersect, painting your dreams with the richness of time's endless tapestry. The enveloping warmth pulls you closer now, whispering assurances of restful contentment. Trust in the sensations, the quiet hum of midnight, the whispers of a slumbering castle echoing centuries of soft lullabies. Here, in the tranquil space between each breath, you're invited to surrender to the gentle sweep of sleep. The night cradles you, tender in its hold, inviting you to float upon its stillness, ensconced in the tranquil twilight of another world. And so, let go softly into slumber's sweep, guided by these ancient tales, woven lovingly around you as you close your eyes, breathing deeply the forgotten stories carried by time. Feel the contentment settle warmly, dreamland's very threshold calling your name. As the castle of dreams draws you ever deeper, know that tonight, and always, it watches over you, guardian and haven, until the morning light returns to touch the world. As you surrender to sleep, the boundaries of reality begin to dissolve like the softest of drizzles merging into a morning mist. The stories whispered by the castle weave into the tapestry of your dreams, each thread vibrant with history's hues and the luminescence of a silent night. You drift on the currents of time, where the edges blur and comfort swells around you like a warm embrace from a cherished friend. In your dreams, the corridors of the castle unfold in a different light, painted with the glow of distant stars. The tapestries animate, the figures stepping out and embarking on their tales, simple figures becoming grand narratives under this nocturnal sky. You witness medieval feasts anew, tables adorned with laughter and tales as warm as the hearth they surround. Brave knights suit up in glistening armor, their bravado and companionship resonating with the heartbeats of many who gather to cheer them on. Echoes of camaraderie that remind you of contemporary friendships shared and celebrated. Even the jesters, with their motley attire and mischievous grins, spin feats of acrobatics and wit that dance along the edges of your mind. It's a carnival of wonder, writes itself in the language of dreams, where past and present find common ground. Not unlike the playful exchange of memes and witty quips that color everyday life. The whisper of an ancient library calls you further, guided by a constellation of glowing tomes. Each book you touch unwraps swirling galaxies of inked narratives, and you sail aboard this ocean of lore, cradled in word-woven ships through the ebb and flow of imagined tales. Historians' debates resonate here with ethereal notes lingering in the air, contemplating the intentions behind forgotten passages, forever seeking the murmured truths long hidden within vellum folds. And as an inner courtyard unfolds under the dreamscapeful sky, a garden blooms with fantastical flora, fragrant blossoms releasing their nocturnal perfumes into the air. Moonflowers open with grace and serenity, their languid beauty cast amid the soft glow of fireflies that, like encrypted messages from the universe, blink with meaning yet to be fully unraveled. Here, alongside these floral sentinels, you find peace, a quiet interlude between day's tales and night's dreams becoming a meditative symphony. As dreams weave these stories around you, they envelop you with warmth and solace, gestures of hospitality from worlds untold. Each narrative a lullaby, comforting and timeless as the cradle of life itself. Wrapped in memory's embrace, you are guided through this velvety expanse where dreams mimic reality, echoing the repetition of quiet footfalls that traverse the castle halls. An unmistakable softness descends as your dream draws out, the whispers of companions, feasts, and epochs wrapping the edges of this fantastical reverie. Night cradles you, easing you further into the depths of serene respite, promising restful rejuvenation nestled snug in the lore of ages past, which will be waiting come the break of dawn. And so, entwined with the soothing lull of medieval echoes and the quiet embrace of your own gentle breath, you float peacefully into the warm depths of rest. Gently, as each breath pulls you further from the waking realm, the night blankets you in soft whispers of good night as you slip gracefully into tomorrow's horizon, assured by the continuity of peace and dreamt stories that shall always cradle you in their boundless, indulgent reverence. In this dreamy realm, you find yourself swaying gently on the tides of nighttime thoughts, a world where the whispers of stone walls and the sights of starry tapestries guide your every breath. The stories that span centuries continue to unfold behind your closed eyes, lulling you deeper into the embrace of sleep. They waltz across your mind like the gentle flicker of candlelight, the kind that casts cozy shadows that dance in familiar corners of your most cherished memories. The medieval nights stretch on with a serenity that's both ancient and timeless, threading through the weave of the universe itself. Here, the moon casts a silver glow over stone battlements, transforming every spire and tower into silent sentinels overlooking the castle grounds. It's in the company of these ageless friends that your soul finds rest, an ethereal calm descending like soft snowflakes landing quietly upon a still world. In the recesses of your dreams, you sense the presence of kindred spirits, noble figures of history who once walked these same halls. They come alive in a vision both whimsical and hallowed, sharing their stories in reverential tones that become an ambient melody, swirling in harmonious symphony with your thoughts. The tales they tell are rich, full of adventure and kinship, woven with laughter and sighs, and with heartbeats that thrummed courage and longing. Glimpses of courtiers in lavish attire of times gone by serve as reminders of nights spent beneath glittering chandeliers, where music and merriment wove through the air like silk ribbons. There's a particular joy in watching them flutter by, their once stiff formality now melting into the ambiance of your dreamlike reality, less as stilted tableau and more as warmly familiar company over the course of this gentle night. The echo of their lives, vivid yet tender, is absorbed by the stones and released anew into the time-boundless expanse of midnight dreams. Their shared legacy becomes your comforting lullaby, speaking a language that transcends era and place, offering messages of what it was to live, love, and seek warmth beneath the vast canopy of the same starry sky that has borne witness to countless tales. The gentle whispers of these bygone souls continue to cradle you, and their presence feels like curling under a woolen blanket, adorned with stories both whispered and sung, as soothing as the rain that taps gently against window panes in the quiet of night. Silence settles like the softest down, weaving across the fabric of your thoughts, resilient yet yielding. It's this presence, this gentle caress of nothingness, that opens up the spaces between dreams to be filled with the promise of possibility, whispering hopes yet to unfurl with the dawn, but dreamed in their full splendor here and now. As the deep night envelopes you, enclosure feels like the knowing embrace of an old friend, familiar, patient, and wise. It beckons you deeper into the arms of sleep. Safe in the heart of these dreams that time has helped craft, your spirit finds solace in the stories left behind by others, where every breath and heartbeat measures out the cadence of dreams about to be born. The dreams grow softer, quieter, until all is hushed, and time pauses in a gentle sigh. Here, where past and present blend into one, you float on this enduring sea of night, gently carried on the lapping waves of stories cherished and lives intertwined. In this elemental cradle of dreams, your spirit rests until the bright fingers of dawn return, promising new stories yet to wend their way into the waking world, a perennial cycle of storytelling as timeless as the night itself. With a final, deep exhale, a sigh that seems to echo harmonically through the ages, your mind drifts peacefully into the deepest embrace of slumber, surrounded by the warmth and wonder of this waking dream, enfolded in the castle's eternal watch as it guards the stories of those who've walked its halls before. And so, with history's gentle lullaby still echoing in your heart, you slip into the endless corridors of sleep, into dreams where the stories continue to unfold as you drift even deeper into this soothing slumber, held tenderly by the embrace of night the stories continue to unfurl like the soft pages of a beloved book. Your dreams transport you to a world where time flows like a gentle river, carrying you with it on a journey interwoven with imagination and reality, past and present. In this realm, every whispering breeze carries with it the echoes of voices long silenced, murmuring legends and lullabies that float softly on the air, curling around you like the comforting warmth of a hearth fire. These tales swirl in delicate patterns, illuminating the beauty of a world both fantastical and familiar, merging seamlessly with the dim corridors of your own memories and musings. In the tapestry of your dreams, the castle stands stalwart against the vast expanse of starlit sky, a gentle watchtower bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. Every stone, every archway seems to resonate with the pulse of the earth beneath it, echoing the timelessness of ancient stories shared across centuries. It is here, within these hallowed walls, that you find your dreams spinning stories from the threads of time itself, each one more vivid and enchanting than the last. Amidst the gentle hum of past lives and present dreams, you wander through scenes that shift and shimmer like ripples in a moonlit pond. You find yourself walking alongside knights adorned in gleaming armor, their laughter bright and bold, a lively contrast to the serene hush of the night. Their camaraderie and strength imbue your heart with a sense of adventure, a longing to join them in their noble quests. Nearby, in a sun-dappled garden that blooms eternally in your dreams, ladies and lords converse in hushed tones, their voices like the melody of a gentle brook. Secrets are shared amongst rustling leaves and shadows that flicker playfully across ancient stone benches. There's a grace to their movements, a rhythm to their words that captures the elegance of bygone eras, weaving it into the narrative of your slumber. In the quieter corners of the castle, the library stands as a sanctuary of knowledge and mystery, waiting patiently for you to explore its endless corridors. The pages of each leather-bound tome whisper enticing tales, their ink still vibrant, as though written just for you. You sense the presence of scholars and scribe shadows as they scour the shelves for the wisdom of ages, their murmurs blending into a symphony of knowledge. As you journey through these dreamscapes, the boundaries of your dreams stretch and soften, with new tales unfolding in the hidden corners and secret passageways of your imagination. Each story is a gift from the past, a reminder of life's timeless dance, twirling with elegance through the whispered corridors of history. And in this dream-woven dance, the castle envelops you in its eternal embrace, casting a sheltering shadow over your slumbering form. Within this refuge, your spirit finds solace, knowing that the ancient stones will guard your dreams through the long, quiet night until the first blush of dawn heralds the arrival of a new day. So, here in this enchanted slumber, let the timeless whispers of history continue to cradle you. Relinquish yourself fully to the soothing lullaby as you drift further into the depths of sleep, enveloped in the rich tapestry of stories spun throughout the ages. Trust in the gentle hold of this dream world, where you are at peace, safe, and serene, floating softly towards the shimmering horizon of dawn that awaits somewhere beyond the edges of fatigue and moonlit night. Breathe deep, rest easy, and know that as you sleep, the timeless tales of the ages will watch over you, guiding your dreams along paths both familiar and new, wrapping you in the endless stories of time's embrace. The stillness of the night will nurture your rest, weaving together the beginning of another journey as you dream. waiting for that soft, golden promise of morning light to gently rouse you from this slumberous tale. As the night wears on, you continue to drift in the tranquil embrace of sleep, lulled into deeper dreams where the whispers of history and imagination converge in gentle harmony. The castle now feels like a part of your very being, its timeless corridors stretching out within your mind, a living, breathing tapestry all its own. Each shadowed hallway and stony alcove pulses with stories long told and those yet to be spun, creating an endless labyrinth of wonder within your dreaming soul. The air itself is imbued with the essence of serenity, urging you to explore further into the recesses of your mind as you drift. The dreams come to life with a clarity that resonates beyond the waking world, fully immersing you in their gentle currents. You see the flicker of candlelight in chamber windows, the soft glow illuminating faces that once were and will be again, their expressions painted with the timeless emotions shared across generations. Amidst the spark of these dreams, the castle becomes a sanctuary where past and present thread together, carrying you deeper into a serene and comforting parallel. You wander, as if you belong, down passages that twist and turn like the fabric of time itself. Somewhere within the quiet embrace of this nocturnal realm, you sense the presence of others, kindred spirits who have walked these same pathways, their stories now yours to cherish and understand. In the ballroom, grand and infinite beneath the dreaming sky, figures twirl to the soft strains of an unseen ensemble, a waltz echoing the rhythm of your heartbeat. The floor underfoot gleams with memories of splendor, a mirror reflecting the chandeliers above that sparkle like constellations among velvet shadows. Those same shadows move with a gentle grace as dancers glide seamlessly, evoking a sense of timelessness and union that speaks to the enduring power of connection. Beyond the ballroom lies the courtyard, bathed in the silver of moonlight that seems infinite. Here, the whispers of gardens past play upon the gentle breezes, their floral fragrances teasing your senses with a delight deeper than any waking scent. The murmur of night creatures, small and curious, blends with the distant echoes of old tales shared beneath starlit canopies. The peace here is palpable, as tangible as the earth beneath your feet, urging you to linger amid the beauty. Your dreams fold and unfold like the petals of a nocturnal bloom, revealing layer upon layer of history and wonder. Knights stand gallant atop the battlements, their silent vigil extending across a land of possibilities. Scholars gather in quiet chambers, their words mingling with the rustle of parchment and the quiet scratch of quills, a testament to the eternal quest for knowledge and understanding, a quest that both persuades and enlightens through nights of discovery. And then, as the edges of dawn tease the horizon, the castle gently releases you from its embrace, slowly waking you from this dream-keep sanctuary. With the promise of a new day on the gentle horizon, you emerge from the depths of sleep, carrying with you the echoes of this timeless, sleepless night. The moon retreats, softly yielding to the first light of day. And as you stir, you feel a sense of gratitude for the wandering passage of your dreams and the ancient tales they've harvested. You rise, taking with you the calm and solace night has provided, knowing you are richer for having danced with echoes and dreams span across views of ancient stone castles and kinship under shared stars. Wrapped in the tranquil aftermath of this enchanted dream night, you allow yourself a moment of reflection, acknowledging all that echoed quietly in the sanctuary of your slumber. Then, with a contented heart, you stretch into the fresh embrace of morning, knowing that the stories carried by night's whispers will remain woven into the very fabric of who you've become. Every dawn offers a new story yet to be told, and with it, limitless possibilities spun golden from the dreams entertained in the velvet embrace of night. As the velvety curtain of night starts to gently lift, you feel the soft touch of dawn's first light playing upon your face. The castle, once alive with the vivid dreams and stories of the night, now stands tranquil and poised in the pale embrace of morning. The air is infused with a quiet anticipation. Each breath you take, wrapped with the scent of dew-kissed earth and the faint promise of new beginnings. Bathed in this gentle glow, the world around you begins to awaken, a slow and melodic unfurling, like the petals of a flower greeting the sun. The shadows that danced across the ancient stone walls under moonlight now take on softer, more tender shapes, inviting warmth to make its slow progression across the castle's timeless stones. You linger for a moment longer in this tranquil space between dreams and reality, savoring the aftertaste of tales spun throughout the night. The stories that cradled you in slumber continue to resonate softly within, weaving a gentle melody of shared experiences. Each scene, each whisper, becomes a familiar refrain, a soothing reminder that every ending is but a prelude to a new chapter waiting beyond the horizon. Around you, the castle begins to stir with the subtle signs of life. The quiet patter of feet echoes softly down corridors, a symphony of sound that slowly builds from subtle murmurs to the harmonious chorus of a household waking. You can almost feel the history within, not unlike the flips and flutters of a new book, eagerly anticipation, exploration, its pages filled with chronicles old and new. Out in the courtyard, the morning light glimmers softly upon the dew-dappled grass, the subtle shimmer a testament to the purity of first light. Birdsong rises in delicate threads over the castle turrets, a natural symphony that mingles with every gentle breeze, a new story written upon the wind and clouds, waiting to unfold throughout the waking day. As you step out into this calm expanse, you realize that while the dreams of the night have gently faded, their essence lingers, imprints upon the spirit, weaving themselves into the very fabric of your being. The stories you've gathered are your companions now, threads that will guide you with the wisdom of ages past as you move through the tapestry of the present day. The world around you shines with the soft hues of dawn, and the promise of what's to come hangs as lightly as morning mist, poised to take its journey skyward. With each step, a gentle invitation extends to embrace the present, to relish in its offerings, and to weave new tales with what you carry forward from the night's dreams. Opening yourself to the warmth and light, you find a deep, heartfelt connection with the world all around you. The castle, your companion through the night, now stands as a sentinel of timeless wonder, a reminder that you are part of an endless saga shared by those who have walked before and those yet to come. With a smile, you breathe in deeply, letting the fresh air fill your lungs, and greet the day ahead with renewed energy and calm assurance, knowing deeply and surely that you are wrapped always in the embrace of timeless stories and inextricable connections. Turning towards the path that unfolds before you, you carry with you a wealth of dreams and the soothing knowledge of shared stories, poised and ready to step into the narrative of today. New adventures and depths to explore, constant in rhythm and spirit within the lovely cadence of life itself. And so, With a heart full of both history and hope, you step forward into the dawn, embraced by the continuity of stories yet to unfold.